Good morning, children. So, today we are to discuss our second topic or our second chapter, that is phrases. Now, before we start phrases, we had already talked about the parts of sentences. Generally, there are two parts, that is subject and predicate, and the another way that we divide the sentences are based in these two classifications, which are phrases and clause. So, first of all, what is a phrase? I had provided you differences between clause and phrase. I hope you have read it. And in case of phrase, to understand it, what is it? See, first of all, phrase and clause, they are both the parts of sentences, right? Now, both of them do not give us complete sense. Okay, this is the first thing. Now, phrase gives us an incomplete meaning. In our last video or in our last class, we had discussed I had given you various examples, and from them I had broken those phrases part. So let's take for an example. There was a beggar at my door. So from here, what can be our phrase? At my door. At my door, what is happening? We don't know. It's giving an incomplete meaning. What is happening? We don't know. The meaning is not clear to us, right? So this is phrase. Basically, the definition, or not definition, rather to understand it proper, I'm just reading out one line which will clarify it proper. A group of words that makes some sense. Okay, you got it? Some sense, but not complete sense is a phrase. And let us take one more example. Mr. Sharma is a man of great intelligence. Now, what kind of person is Mr. Sharma? A man of great intelligence. So here, if we take Mr. Sharma is, if we take this part out, then what remains? A man of great intelligence. Who? Who is a man of great intelligence? If we remove that out, do we get the meaning? Do we get the answer? Do we get the proper information that this man, what we are talking about, or whom we are talking about, do we get the answer? We don't. So, a man of great intelligence becomes our phrase. Hope you have understood it. Now next comes, okay, now one more thing. There are some other things which also need to be remembered while talking about phrases. That in our last video I had told you that one difference between clause and phrase is that clause will be having a finite verb, but a phrase will not, right? So that is one thing. A phrase does not contain a finite verb, but it may contain a non-finite verb. Now you might be thinking that what is non-finite verb, right? So a non-finite verb may consist of a participle, okay, and a gerund. I have provided you the PDF file of your second chapter, phrases, and in the very first paragraphs there are mentioned about phrases, and if you see there, it is written that a phrase does not contain a finite verb, but it can contain a non-finite verb. Now under non-finite verb, what are the things that following? That is participle, okay, it can be present also, past also, and the next thing is gerund. Now what is gerund? Gerund is any of the verb plus ing, okay, and okay, this much about phrase. Now our next thing is what are the kinds of phrases? So the kinds of phrases are adjective phrases, adverb phrases, and noun phrases. Now for an example, okay, before you understand or you get to know about what is adjective phrase, adverb phrase and noun phrase, for that the most important thing that is required, that you have to understand that how the phrase is acting as adjective, adverb or noun. And for that you need to have a clear conception about the parts of speech. That's why I told you to rewrite or to have a revision of that parts of speech. So now let's first talk about adjective phrase. That's the first one. So adjective phrase, let us first see what is adjective. Adjective is what? Which shows us the quality of anything, right? Which tells us about tells something more about the noun. She is a bright student. What kind of student is she? And about what are we talking? We are talking about a girl, because in the very first word is she, and that is a pronoun. So we are talking about a girl, right? So, and we are talking about a student who is very intelligent or who is very bright. So now you are clear about adjective. Now let us see, in that way now we can understand that what is an adjective phrase. A phrase which acts as an adjective, or in a phrase where you get the idea of an adjective, that will be your adjective phrase. Let's take an example. It's a normal sentence where you can see that adjective is present. The lady in the silken gown is my aunt. What are we talking about? Or whom are we talking about? We are talking about that lady. And what is she wearing? She is wearing a gown which is made of silken. Okay, which is made of silk. Now, the lady in the silken gown is my aunt. Here, which is our adjective? What kind of gown is she wearing? It tells us about the gown. What quality or what color is it? It tells us more about the gown, right? So, the lady is, nothing is told about the lady, nothing is told about the aunt, but something is told about the gown. The quality of the gown or the material of the gown is told here, that is made of silk. So, that is adjective. Now, if we put it in phrase, how are we supposed to write? The lady in a gown made of silk is my aunt. We are expanding here the adjective. Okay. Silken gown, this silken gown is our adjective, and this adjective we are expanding to make a phrase. The lady in a gown made of silk is my aunt. This becomes now an adjective phrase. In this way, there are various other examples given. Let me tell you. Mr. Singh is an experienced teacher. What kind of teacher he is? We are talking about the quality of the teacher, the skills which Mr. Singh is having. Experienced teacher. Okay. So he is an experienced teacher. So what we can write here is Mr. Singh is a teacher with experience. In this way we are supposed to write. We are supposed to add the phrases. Now for this adjective phrases, there are some. There is a column given here. I'll just show you. I have this one. You can see. This one. Okay. So, there are some more adjectives. Let us talk about them. A steel almirah. An almirah made of steel. It's very easy. An honorable man. A man of honor. In this way, you will read this out for your better understanding, or when you will get to solve these types of questions, it will be easier for you. So I hope it is clear to you about adjective phrase. That phrase which acts as an adjective is adjective phrase. In the similar way, it's for adverb phrase also. Those phrases that act as an adverb is adverb phrase. Just like any example for adverb? Cleverly, then angrily. He walked away angrily. What is the adverb here? Angrily. Then what else? The girl dances gracefully. Gracefully is the adverb. So here, now if we have to make this as phrase, or if we have to write this as adjective phrase, then how we are supposed to write? Suppose the first thing I said, let us take one example. Rohit acted cleverly. So in what way Rohit acted? He acted cleverly. Now if we have to write this in an adverb phrase, remember one thing, just a topic, this adverb, adjective, noun, these things coming in a sentence is different. But while you are mentioning it in a phrase, that thing is another thing. That needs to be written in a different way. So how are you going to write here? Rohit acted in a clever manner. Okay. Then please handle it carefully. How do you need to handle it? You need to handle it with care. Please handle it carefully. Please handle it with care. I hope you are clear now, or you have started to understand. Let's give one more. I searched for my purse here. Now here, this is an adverb, but while we are going to write in a phrase, it is not going to remain same. We are not going to write here while we will be putting it in a phrase. It will not be same. So what we will write? I searched for my purse at this place. Okay, because what is happening, let me tell you the proper thing. In the adjective also I had said the same. In the adverb also I had said the same. What is happening here? Just take the first example. What was that? Okay, experienced teacher. Now, experienced is only our adjective. Okay, but if we need to put it in a phrase, now phrase is what? There are some group of words which does not give you a complete sense. It gives you an incomplete sense. But they are some group of words, 2 words or more than 2 words. So we need to put it in such a way. Now it will be more clear for you while we talk about this adverb. Now the first thing, please handle it carefully. Which is the adverb here? Carefully. Now this carefully, it is not any phrase, right? So the thing is, while we have to put it in a phrase, we have to write in such a way that it turns out to be a phrase. Then we have to change that particular word. Suppose in this case, carefully is the word. So we have to put it in such a way that it sounds like a phrase. Okay, just like how it was, please handle it carefully. Carefully is the adverb. When we change it to adverb phrase, then what we will write? Please handle it with care. Now with care, there are 2 words, so with care becomes our adverb phrase in that way. Adverb phrase is clear to you. Again, there is one column given. How will you change? There are some examples actually. These are for the adjective also given, then for adverb also there is given. quite a lot of them are given: courageously, with courage, or in a courageous manner. Then suddenly, without any warning. There, you can't when you write adverb phrase, you cannot write there, so you will have to write at that place. Then recently, at a recent time, in this way. So you learn these columns, okay? For the adjective phrase also, for adverb phrase also, you learn these phrases. It will be helpful for you. Now coming to noun phrase, it's also the same thing with noun. Just see the in a very simple way. This is the thing, that those phrases which act as adjective, where you get the hint of adjective, that is adjective phrase. Those phrases that act as adverb, that is adverb phrase. And those phrases which act as noun, they are noun phrase. This very, very simple thing. Now, while these two are clear, now the last thing is noun phrase. Now for noun phrase, let's go back to our previous discussion about subject and predicate. Or you remembered about subject and object. Subject comes in the beginning, object comes at last. This thing is here important. Why? Because, let me give you one example. How to write is an art. What is the noun phrase here? Not an art. It is how to write. What are we talking about? About art. What is that art? To know how to write. That is our noun phrase. This part, how to write, is our noun phrase. Okay. Now, one thing's come here. Noun phrases can be, you can find noun phrases either in the beginning or in the end. But there is one thing you need to understand, that if they are acting as subject or if they are acting as object. How will you understand it? Suppose this thing, that how to write is an art. This how to write, it is coming in the beginning. It is answering you in the very beginning, so it becomes our subject. But now, if in any such sentence, just like for example, I love reading newspapers. What do I like? Or which is our noun phrase here? What do you think should be our noun phrase here? It should be reading newspapers. That is what I love. So when it answers you what you love, I love what? Reading newspapers. This is our noun phrase. So that should become our object, because it is coming at last. So for your better understanding, I would rather tell you that this part is very easy. Which thing, when these noun phrases are coming in the beginning, they are acting as subject. When the noun phrases are coming at the end, they are acting as object. So this part is clear, and I hope you have understood it. And if any doubt regarding any of the part, you can re-watch this video, or you can consult me. Wherever or which part specifically you have problem, I'll clear it. And yes, do read about this adjective phrases and adverb phrases. That's for now, and I'll give you some things to solve. Not much, but some of the smaller things, so that you can easily do it. Okay. And okay, till then, stay safe. Thank you.